Welcome to Picture Book Chat, where we feature a handful of new picture books each month and discuss what makes them great. Whether you're a parent, caregiver, or teacher, you're bound to find some wonderful reading suggestions from librarians Mary Ellen Brax and Sheri Boggs.
Hi, welcome to Picture Book Chat. I'm Mary Ellen, and with me today is Sheri.
Hello.
And we're here to talk picture books with you today.
Da-da-da.
So, yes, we've got a nice grouping here. The first one, we have a brand new Mo Willems book.
Woot, woot.
And there's no pig.
Or elephant.
Or elephant. But this is Are You Big? By Mo Willems. And it's kind of a perspective book, which I kind of liked. I like that there's something on the end papers here. And the first thing it asks is, are you big? And then it goes through and asks, are you big as, other objects that they show? A hot air balloon is big. And then they show you down, the character down here in contrast. A cloud is big. And so it's, the text is simple, but I like the perspective. And then as you notice, they have each of the things as you go along. So it makes like a long list of them as you go through and do it in comparison with the size, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
and I like how their expressions, each of the things is dismayed to find out they're not the biggest.
I know. That's great.
There's great little details in there.
And just the language in it. Like this one is the Milky Way galaxy, which is made of billions of stars and billions of planets and billions of other things, is really, really, really big. So you could have a lot of fun reading this out loud too. I think it would be a fun preschool book, definitely. But not as big as the M100 galaxy.
Whoa.
So it was a very fun one, and the colors in it are just great. So I think this is just a really fun one. And in the back here, they have some facts for you. Okay. And it says the illustrations in this book are fictional representations and not true to scale. For real world size differences, you can check the average size comparisons above, and then they list everything above. And then they say it's easier than taking an ant on a hot air balloon on a cloudy night over Australia to gaze upon the galaxies. So in that one sentence, they just about included everything in the book that they talk about.
So clever.
Yes. So, but it's Mo Willems.
I know. It's what he does.
He's great. What did you think, Sheri, of this one?
Well, before I forget, I just want to say that Are You Small is coming out.
Oh, yeah. That would be
there's
great.
A companion volume to this. I think it's publishing in June.
Oh, awesome.
We've got it on order. So, yeah, I love this. It's got great applications for, like all sorts of units talking about, like measuring and comparing and, perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be great for that. I love the paper construction.
Yes.
These. I think that's super engaging. Like I love the little shadow that gives us sort of 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
I mentioned this before, but I love the expressiveness.
Yes.
On all the objects. He's just so good. I've always loved this about Mo Willems' work is he's just so good with simple lines. Like, he gets so much expression.
I think this would be good for an art unit too, because it's the pictures are simple, and I think the kids could say, "Oh, I could draw that."
Yeah, yeah. Like, how would you do these eyes?
Yeah,
that's a great point. And I loved the vocabulary too.
Yes,
Australia. Who expected that? So just great fun. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. It was a really fun one to read. And so we have the barcode on the back that you can scan. And I love that there's a ruler. Somebody was asking me, one of our IT guys was asking me for a ruler. And I said, will this do? Because I had the book in my hand and I was looking at it. I found him a bigger ruler. But I said, you could use it if we can't find you one. So I really did like that aspect of the book too.
Yeah.
So, okay. What is our next one? I think the next one is one we just got in. So this is really our first impressions of the book.
So this is See This Little Dot. It's by Jane Yolen. Very prolific children's book author and illustrator. This is great. It's got kind of a similar thing going on with the cut paper.
Yeah.
The one that we just did, Are You Big? So this is talking about all the things that a little dot can be. So it starts out, see this little dot? It's not just a blot on a page, not just a spot of ink on a shirt. So it's interesting because it's not literal in terms of what's going on the page.
Right.
So that's something to note about it. Or a bit of dirt on the back of your shoe. So there's a lot of storytelling, I think, that you could do with this. Maybe talking about how would you get dirt on the back of your shoe if you're doing this activity? What activity is this? What is this little animal?
Or what other circles do you see on the page would be a good thing, because it's not just what they're talking about in the storyline, but there's other objects that are dots on the page. So I really like that.
Oh, that's definitely. And that maybe brings it down a notch to make it more approachable for a younger audience, I think.
Yeah.
And here you've got some identifying things. They talk about a crow or a bat. You've also got an owl and a ghost.
A dog and a cat.
So it's kind of identifying from sort of abstract-ish shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's your bear, a seal. It's very playful.
Yeah. Yeah, you start seeing dots and circles everywhere as you go through the book. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And I love this picture with the circle and then all the animals, the butterflies inside.
Yeah, it's really gorgeous. Like the composition of these, like it's really artistically done. I love the kind of the layout that they chose. And you can talk about the difference between a dot and a circle.
Right.
On this page with the spider web.
I
was joking with Mary Ellen before we started taping this, like you want to get your hole punch away from the kids.
Yes.
Do this because it seems like you're going to be dying to do that, to make these little dots. What did you think about this one? Do you think it would be useful in story times, or is it more of a one-on-one sort of situation?
I think it could be useful in story time. Or like a small class if you're doing something on circles and things like that. I think this could be really fun to do. And talking about that hole punch, if you had some sort of a, cry cut or cricket, I guess, or something that did a whole bunch of dots, then they could make their own pictures out of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that would be a fun kind of extension activity of this. For preschoolers. Yeah, it would work with those fine motor skills to be gluing all the dots and everything, or just even drawing dots. Make a picture using as many dots as you can, which might be good for older preschoolers. So
totally.
Yeah. So, and I love the colors. I love the brightness of the colors, and just the artwork in here, I think, is just beautiful. So yeah. So I think I can see a couple of different uses for this one that might jump off into another activity that you could use. So it'd be interesting if they did something with some other shapes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
To see where they go next with this, if there's going to be a next time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a good standalone book. So
it is. Yeah. You could definitely see rectangles and squares.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought it was really imaginative, too. I like it.
So, yeah, a good one.
So see this little dot? And there's the barcode on the back, so you can place a hold. All right. What's next?
The next one is the Noisy Puddle, a vernal pool through the seasons. So I had to look up what a vernal pool was. So already the vocabulary is right there. But it's great. It's puddles that kind of form, but then they disappear as it gets warmer. But they're talking about everything that goes on in these puddles that form. So it's through the season. So this would be a great one to do if you're doing a unit on seasons. And it starts off in the deep damp forest after the snow, one lone goose, one lone crow, yellow daffodils all in a row. So they've got some rhyming text in there, which I always appreciate. I always love a good story, but I also love a good rhyming story too, because it really does draw in the kids and gets them to pay attention. And the artwork here with the cut paper is gorgeous.
It really is.
Yeah. Listen, listen. What do you hear? Peepers peeping everywhere. So if you were doing a nature walk, I feel like this would be a great one to read. And then you could come back to it to say, oh, look, this is what season they're in. Let's see if we will see the same things too. So, and it goes on through the seasons and it talks about all the animals. Wood frogs quack, ducks clown, fairy shrimp swim upside down. A little bit of a tongue twister there. And I had to look up fairy shrimp. I was like, oh, what is that? And that is what I love at the back of this book. They have information back here all about these noisy puddles, and then all the wildlife that you may be able to find in there too. Yeah. So I really like that. And so you could be looking for certain things. Kids love to look for beetles and that type of a thing. But yeah, just the perspective on it's great too, because like even going underground, what's underground in the winter time.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's mostly dried up, there's still all this life going on under the surface.
So yeah, just gorgeous photos.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love the text too, because it's so descriptive, but it's not too much text. So I thought it was a really good preschool book.
Yeah.
With a lot of good vocabularies in it too. So yeah, that's my overall thought. I thought that, this would be great. This would be great for a preschool classroom if you're working on seasons. You could kind of compare it with another, whatever other seasonal books that you have too. So, I think this would be good to add to a classroom collection.
Definitely.
So, your overall thoughts, Sheri?
Like you were saying, I love all the textures in this. This is our third book in a row that's got kind of the three-dimensional, like layered surfaces kind of artwork. And I just love this concept. Kids are fascinated by nature anyway, but this concept of, like a pool that's there in the spring and then is gone. Like I was reading about these and they say that it's more of a, East Coast phenomenon, but I do remember, like in the forests of North Idaho, there was a place that we used to camp and it had something that was like a vernal pool, and there were these tiny little tree frogs, and in the spring it would just be crazy, and then we would come back at the end of summer and it would be mostly dried up. And so I think with kids that are just fascinated by nature and tiny creatures and kind of like those little ecosystems, they're like tiny little worlds. I think they're going to love this book.
Yeah. And I appreciate that they actually put like people in the pictures too, because they could have just done it with just the nature, but I like the perspective of the people in the picture also.
Yeah.
In going through the woods. So I think that would really help if you were doing this right before you went on like a nature hike. And that would be a fun thing. So yeah, I was really impressed with this one. I really liked it. And so on the back here is the barcode, and then it goes directly to our catalog. And what's our last one that we have today?
I've been dying to talk about this book. So you're going to love this book. By Jory John. Jory John is the one that's done all the bad seed, the good egg.
Oh yes.
There's like a whole bunch of them. The sour grape, I think, is one. So right off, like I know this is going to be good, but boy, is it good!
Yeah.
So this is one of those interactive kind of books where the person reading it is like the narrator talking directly to the reader. So it says, "Attention reader." Let's try that again. Attention reader. So you've got like this big bold text that kind of tells you what to do with your voice. You're going to love this book. Really, truly, seriously, no joke. Get ready. This book has everything you could ever want: action, comedy, drama, heart, words, pictures. So it's not very funny yet. It's building up to it. So they're creating all this anticipation. Go ahead, turn the page, because this book has homework. Oh, yeah, this is actual homework. Woohoo, right? Just FYI, your homework is due tomorrow, buddy, or sooner. This whole book just cracks me up. It's all this kind of stuff. So then it's like, are you loving this book so far? Huh? Are you? Because you're going to love what's coming up next. What do you think it is, Mel?
Oh, gosh, I can't even remember.
Oh, it's broccoli. Or no, sprouts.
Sprouts.
Oh, yeah, sprouts. All kinds of sprouts. Mung bean sprouts and alfalfa sprouts and broccoli sprouts and wheat sprouts and soybean sprouts. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's everything you can imagine a child might not like is wrapped up into this book. But you're going to love this book.
I know, and I love this. So enjoy your sprouts, buddy. Then do some homework. Now, that's what I call a good time. I can't even get through this. It just cracks me up.
Yeah.
You've got a page about the dentist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ooh, listen, I think I hear a drill. Fun. So I think grown-ups are going to like this just as much as kids.
Yeah.
You've got raisins.
Yeah.
Let's see what's next. A chore list. Anyway, I could go on and on. Mel, what did you think about this one?
I thought it was a lot of fun. So I think this one, your older preschoolers, your early elementary especially, will just get the biggest hoot out of this book. And I love the warning sign on the front where it says warning. Occasionally, some readers may have a slightly different opinion. So yeah, it's a really fun one. And I think especially if you read it and follow along with like the big, the bolder the words get, the more stronger the emotion comes out, and just really have a good time with this one. I thought it was hysterical. I mean, you could even ask the kids, what else would you put in this book?
Right. Cleaning out the cat box.
Yeah.
Go get it, Tiger.
Yeah. So, yeah, really, really, really fun.
Yeah.
I kept having to put it down when I was reading it yesterday because I was laughing so hard, because I could just imagine my own kids reading it. And you might get a few kiddos that are a little confused.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a certain type of humor.
Yeah.
So,
with your more literal kids, you might need to explain why it's funny.
Because it's not really fun.
I know, that's the joke.
So, you could have some kids, just kind of going, what? I don't know. So, but I think reading it a couple of times, and especially if you put those inflections in it, they'll have a good time with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
it's a winner.
Yeah.
I love when you see something new like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you'll see interactive books where it's like, touch this page. Oh, you made the thing go this way. And like after a while, you start to get tired of seeing, reinterpretations of that kind of thing.
Right.
The closest thing I can think of to this is maybe the book with no pictures. But in this, the pictures are kind of part of the gag.
Yeah.
That mountain of raisins and like the dentist chair. I just think this is so fantastic.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yes. Good job. So on the back is the barcode there. And so go ahead, put it on hold and check it out for yourself.
Yes. So. You won't be sorry.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us for another Picture Book Chat, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.